Taking a moment as you join me in awakening and opening our divine sensorium, bringing your awareness to the middle of your brow and allowing the inner eye to open. As you focus on your mind's eye, you may feel some tingles or a little pressure. You may see colors or images or just darkness. You may see an eye with an eyelid open and look around. Whatever you see, whatever you sense, just allow the imagination, the inner eye, to open and stretch and look around. You may begin to feel the outer eye is merging with the inner eye into the oneness. As clarity expands. I invite you to bring your awareness to your left ear. And now to your right ear. And as we open the inner ear, you may feel an energy traveling between the two. Opening to the still small voice. The voice of the soul. The voice of truth. No efforting, no trying, just allowing the clairaudience of the inner ear to awaken. I invite you to bring your awareness to the top of your head, your crown. Imagining it is open like the dome of an observatory. Opening to the light, the wisdom, the holy illumination, the mind of God, the wisdom of the soul. Allowing the surface mind to let go of the temporal thoughts and merge with the higher mind. And as you do, you may feel or sense a phosphorescence of light cascading down from the highest point of divinity you can imagine. As though you are sitting beneath a waterfall of light. Many see it as a golden white light. Some feel tingles. Or just sense the freshness and the openness as the entire energy body, from your toes to your crown, begins to fully immerse into a deep state of relaxation. You can feel that light as it begins to tingle on your scalp, moving into every follicle, every strand of hair. A contagion of light as luminosity and weightlessness begins to flow down on your forehead, down the bridge of your nose, down the back of the scalp, into your cheeks, and jawbone, and chin. You can feel all the cells in your body illuminating from the inside out as the energy washes over us from the outside in. A convergence of oneness tingling down into your throat center, the back of the neck. You can feel the muscles as all density dissolves, relaxing. And the energy tingling down the sides of the neck and through the elbows, through the wrists, into your palms and fingers. You can feel that energy flowing, cascading down through your upper chest and shoulder blades. And as that energy makes its way down into your heart, you can feel your heart blossoming, opening, and expanding. And we allow it as we move into a deep space of grace and benevolent availability. You can feel tingles of joy and peace. As the heart not only opens, but expands. That energy making its way down through your core, your midsection and middle back. And we can feel the revitalization of the contagion of rejuvenation, tingles in the spine, pancreas, the stomach and adrenals, a sense of awe, tranquility, making its way down into your lower belly and lower back, a sacrum, around the belly button, flooding with peace and balance, harmony and joy. And that energy begins to flood down into the hips, soothing, softening, strengthening, swirling around the root at the base of the spine as rejuvenation continues. And as the hips overflow with light, glimmering, tingling energy flows down through your thighs and hamstrings, through the knees, calves and shins, into the ankles, heels, the arches and toes of the feet. The entire physical body continuing to soften, strengthen, going deeper into relaxation. As the light begins to ripple out from the physical body, waves of love and compassion flood the emotional body, divine strength fortifying, as our emotions return to their natural, neutral state of vibrancy and vitality. And that energy begins to ripple and roll from the emotional body into the mental body as waves of clarity begin to dissolve all thoughts body into the bliss body, where you feel wholly enveloped in the angelic divine light of your own essence, your soulful eternal magnificence, where you feel and bathe in the desires of the soul that are beyond thoughts. Infinite benevolent potentials and possibilities. And it is here, in communion with Spirit, Just imagine with your crown wide open on your next inhalation that you are drawing in the infinite light, infinite brilliance, beauty, dynamic presence of God of your soul in through your crown and down into your heart, where divine strength, love, joy, beauty, peace begin to radiate like a starburst, with beams of light shining in 360 degrees throughout your entire energy field. Breathing in the energy, and notice that the exhalation fans the flame. In the heart center, growing and glowing in luminosity, radiance, resplendence. You can feel a fearless courageousness of faith and optimism overwhelming your entire beingness. We take a moment as we feel the eternal frequencies, the energy of the soul that has never been marred, hurt, or harmed in any way, that only lives in pure bliss. And I invite you to bring your awareness down to the south pole of your energy field. If you are seated, you'll know it. About a couple meters, maybe 6, 8 feet beneath the base of your spine, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 feet beneath your feet. And as you bring your awareness to your Earth Star, I invite you to allow yourself to feel and see and imagine the heavenly presence, the earthly expression, paradise, brilliance, glory on earth as your life. Everything in the physical world in harmony, in resonance. We take a moment as we feel that radiance, that resplendence, and on your next inhalation, draw the energy in and down through your heart into your Earth Star, where each one of us chooses to ground heaven, peace, love, joy, beauty, paradise, wisdom, clarity, vitality, vibrancy, optimism and faith, wellness and goodness, kindness, prosperity and generosity, to, through, and as us. We are grounding, anchoring, seeding, germinating, growing, more good than ever before. We choose to personify the divine, the energy of our true nature, the eternal frequencies, right here. And so I'm grateful to know that we are simply observing and participating in the great knowing, the great remembering, that wherever we are, good is, God is. We take a moment as we open to the omniamorous presence, radiance, that is always shining itself and knowing itself and glowing itself as goodness. The one power, the one presence, back of all life. As we open to this, as we remember, whether we call it the universe, the Great One, the Creator, Jehovah, Allah, Elohim, Adonai, Yahweh, God. We open to that omnipresence, and we remember the truth that it is good beyond our wildest dreams, and that the universe, the divine God, has never withheld, punished, or judged, only lavishes and loves. Creating each and every one of us in its image and likeness, we remember the truth of our divine beingness. And we choose to anchor it. We choose to remember. And we choose to allow it to be. How grateful I am to know that simply by being still and knowing that I am, we allow that resplendence to go behind us, before us, sideways, diagonally, in every way, in every form, to make the crooked path straight. We allow it all to be good, and we allow it all to be so. And we simply agree, declaring it by saying, and so it is. Amen. And as we come back into a lucid state of divine awareness, if you want to open your eyes, you can. If you want to stay in the zone, feel free. We are officially back, and we will be starting our regular service in about 3 minutes. So if you need a break, this would be the time. If the restrooms are calling you, they're right down there. For those of you at home, we're going to keep the live stream going, and this would also be your time to take a break. We will start our music and our message in just a few minutes. We'll see you soon.
Watch the camera. We don't have our tripod out without telling me if I'm centered when I stand here. And then how about the other screen, the other to the right?
Oh, that's perfect.
No, it's okay. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Yeah, nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I just want to make sure I had the right.
awesome. My name is Paulette Smith, and on behalf of Jessica, who's not here today, and her mother Patricia, both are founders. Patricia's our angel in heaven. I'd like to welcome you to today's service. And I think we'll begin. Let's take a big cleansing breath. Very good. So we're going to start with Soul Center's declaration. You could rise. And it's on the inside, first page of your program. And we'll all say it together. There is
one life, and that life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. I am here to receive the divine message for me. I am awake, I am tapped in, and I am transformed.
yes!
Very good.
And of course, we've got Jessie right here on guitar. Brian on keys over here. And our lovely Rena Cervantes. who's here. And she's got a little here, Soleil. All right, so one thing we want to mention before I have our lovely Angelina do the announcements is that there will be a barbecue graciously hosted by Lynn Shanky over here, and there are little address cards out on the table, and that's this afternoon after service, and everyone's invited. So let's go all go and have some fun.
Yes,
Now we have Angelina with some announcements.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So please remember to turn your phones off. And then, State of the Center. Join Reverend Keith and the rest of Soul Center's Board of Directors for Soul Center's State of the Center presentation next weekend. Enjoy refreshments while learning about Soul Center's history and vision, our growth, all about membership, fellowship, and more. Mark your calendars for next Sunday, July 9th after service. Today is the last day to enjoy the early registration prize for Reverend Keith's annual summer meditation and nature retreat. The retreat is Thursday through Friday, July 13 and 14. We'll start in the desert and within minutes be at the top of the mountains above Palm Springs. Enjoy meditation, fellowship, and easy hiking in nature. Details and registration at soulcenteroc.com. Reverend Keith's daily affirmative prayer streams live on Soul Center's Facebook page or Zoom, 9:30 a.m. daily, except Sundays. The link is on our newsletter or at soulcenteroc.com. A Course in Miracles with Akili Beckwith is normally on Tuesdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. However, beginning the week of June 11th, it'll be held on Thursdays from 6 to 8. Same Zoom info as always. It'll resume to Tuesdays beginning July 25th. You can join anytime throughout the year. Details are at soulcenteroc.com. To stay informed about all of Soul Center's events and news, sign up for our weekly newsletter on soulcenteroc.com. Volunteers, please help us thrive by offering to do some service. There are a million things that are possible. Bring your talents and just come find out and gain some new talents. You can also join the Soul Circle in person or Zoom to grow together with others in this community by contacting Scott at soulcirclesoc@gmail.com. And now, let's all sing with our band here.
Good morning, friends. How are you?
Good morning.
Sorry.
Stand up.
Soleil, say hi. All right, everybody, I'll read this thing together. Only love enters here. Breathing it everywhere. Only love enters here. Breathing take it everywhere. Only love answers here. Breathe in. Take it everywhere. Only love. Answers here. Breathe in. Take it everywhere. Only love. Answers here. Breathe in. Take it everywhere. Only love. Only love. I want to hear y'all singing. Come on. Say only love. Only love. Answers here. Answers here. Breathe in. Take it everywhere. Only love. Only love. Answers here. Breathe in. Take it everywhere. Only love. Only love. Yeah. Only love. Only love. Happy Sunday once again.
Lovely. Thank you. Beautiful. I love that song. I told you that's a song that I bless my house when I'm staging my house. Sing that song. Good morning. My name is Lynn Shanky. Our reading is from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. The deep thinkers of antiquity, as well as the philosophers of all ages, have meditated long and earnestly upon the nature of the divine being. Knowing that there could be but one ultimate reality back of all things, they have pondered deeply as to the nature of that reality. And it is significant that most of the great thinkers have arrived at similar conclusions. The argument has been something after this manner. The ultimate cause back of all things must be one, since life cannot be divided against itself. The infinite must be one, for there could not be two infinite beings. Whatever change takes place must take place within this one. But this one must be changeless, for being one and only, it could not change into anything but itself. All seeming change is merely the play of life upon itself, and all that happens must happen by and through some interaction upon itself. What would be the nature of this interaction? It could not be physical, as we understand physics, but would have to be by the power of some inner movement of life, i.e. the voice of God. God standing for the first great and only cause of all that is. The word of God means the power of spirit to declare itself into manifestation, into form. The word of God means self-contemplation of spirit. The manifest universe as we see it, as well as the invisible universe, which must also exist, is the result of the self-contemplation of God. Let us turn within and pray. Oh, I'm so grateful for this beautiful moment together, this day together, to celebrate God, to celebrate love. Grateful for the reminder and the reading. Knowing that God is all there is, that God is everywhere present. And when we know that God is all there is, it's easy to realize that we are one with the divine, that each one of us are one with the divine. We're one with God, we're one with each other, sharing this beautiful, benevolent journey called life together. Blessing this day, knowing this day is perfect, this day that has never been and will never be again. We are all here together to experience this beautiful service together. Blessing everyone that came before service to help set up. Blessing Jerome behind the camera. Blessing Jessica and Patricia. Blessing Reverend Keith, knowing that his words are coming straight from the divine. That we are all blessed to hear those words. Blessing Brian. Blessing Jesse. Blessing Rena and Soleil as the backup today. knowing that we are all better for being here together, opening our hearts, our minds, our souls, celebrating today love, freedom,
Yes.
joy, all the beautiful, benevolent blessings that rain down from the universe. They are all for us to take when we say yes. And we open ourselves up to experiencing more love, more freedom, more joy, and giving it and returning it back to the world. And so it is. Amen. So it is. Amen. All right, let's please rise. It's time for agape affirmations. You will find them in your program and coming up on the screen. I'll speak a line and then we'll repeat them aloud together with sincerity and acceptance. I am lit, loving, and loved by the Spirit of God within me.
I am lit, loving, and loved by the Spirit of God within me.
God's holy truth and joy support all that I am in glorious ways.
God's holy truth and joy support all that I am in glorious ways.
Every day I radiate more and more of my divine self.
Every day I radiate more and more of my divine self.
Bathed in benevolent possibilities, I seize the best of life.
Bathed in benevolent possibilities, I seize the best of life.
My life is a divine song of beauty, ease, fulfillment, and satisfaction.
My life is a divine song of beauty, ease, fulfillment, and satisfaction.
I declare my spiritual resplendence and godly independence.
I declare my spiritual resplendence and godly independence.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. For those of you that would like to experience private, individual, confidential prayer today after service, you can come out to the patio and see one of our licensed Soul Center prayer chaplains wearing a blue shawl. Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you.
Good morning.
This particular song that Jessica asked me to perform for all of you today is related to contrast. I recently finished reading The Vortex, Dealing with Relationships by Abraham Hicks. Have you guys ever heard of it or read it? Wonderful book, very transformative, and it gave me so much insight on the importance of contrast and the importance of appreciating the moments of contrast that we experience, because it is only by experiencing what we do not want that we know what we want. And when we have appreciation and gratitude for that contrast, it shoots us faster into manifesting what we really desire. So I hope you guys enjoy this song. It's called Grateful. Tears I had to cry through, a lot of battles left me battered and bruised, and I was shattered and my heart ripped in two. I was broken, there were a lot of times I stumbled and crashed, when I was on the edge down to my last chance. So many times when I was so convinced that I was over, but I had to fall. Above it all, I'm grateful for the stars, made me appreciate the signs. I'm grateful for the wrong ones, made me appreciate the right ones. I'm grateful for the pain, for everything that made me glad. I'm grateful for all my scars, 'cause they only made my heart grateful. Grateful. I was thinking I was drowning in doubt, but all the pain was weighing me down. Pulled it together and I pulled myself out. Learned a lesson. But you gotta go through hell, yeah. But that's what got me strong, I got no regrets. Only love, got no bitterness. Count my blessings, count my blessings. I'm proud of every tear.
are you? Grateful for that song, grateful for this day, grateful for the boys right here, our beloved. They are quality goods is what they are. We've got the best here at Soul Center, including all of you and all of you streaming in. Good morning, Soul Center. All right, I'll include myself. But we know how to rock and soul. That's what I'm here for. I'm Reverend Keith. If this is your first time here, welcoming you here to our spiritual center. We are part of the New Thought Ageless Wisdom Teachings of the Agape International Spiritual Center, which means we take the truth teachings, whether that comes from the Hebrew Bible, the Christian Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, or any of the other sacred texts around the world, and we do what is called upon to do from each of them is to seek the truth, the absolute truth, the capital T truth, which means we're here to rock and soul. To rock and soul means you're going to rock with your soul. You're going to allow yourself to get revved up. You know, you've heard me say it before, I am here to rev you up, to get you to take responsibility for fanning the internal flame of your beingness. There is a divine idea of your life, and that divine idea is brilliant. It is resplendent, it is radiant, it is dynamic, and it only seeks to do one thing: thrill you with joy, bring forward fun, harmony, peace, and love, the eternal frequency. That is what is in store for you, should you choose to allow that to be. So this is a holiday weekend. We're getting ready to celebrate Independence Day in the United States on Tuesday. And today we're celebrating our declaration of inner dependence, the inner divine within us. Interdependence, that declaration of interdependence means I will be more dependent upon my inner self, my higher self, my soulful self, than I will be dependent on the world of effects. The world of effects is the playground that we get to go out and have fun. We get to go play in this beautiful amusement park called Earth. And we are allowing ourselves, as we celebrate this new month, moving in with our new theme, which is living unbounded and wholly free. Really allowing ourselves to understand what true freedom means. When our forefathers and foremothers, those who created this country, who were leaving the oppressive of monarchy in Britain and said, we will no longer stand for this, we are going to declare independence from tyranny. We are going to declare independence from a monarchy that is a dictatorship, and we are going to allow ourselves to move into a space of freedom. They wrote into the Declaration of Independence, they wrote in absolute eloquence and intention to this day, and I know it's been challenged thousands, if not more times, where the temporal world of greed, the temporal world of the ego wants to get in there and control things. It's been challenged. But the intention built into the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution holds a vibration. It holds a vibration that is reflecting the divine. As a matter of fact, there's a sentence in the Declaration of Independence that says, there comes a time to assume among the powers of earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. That's a powerful statement that was written into the Declaration of Independence. Now remember, the Declaration of Independence, when our forefathers and mothers wrote this, they were writing from a place of being centered. They were bringing a radiance and a resplendence into a feeling tone of knowingness to bring about freedom. That doesn't mean that they lived perfect lives. We already know that all of them had their issues, just like everybody else on planet Earth has their issues. Just because you can't live up to the great ideal in a particular moment doesn't mean you can't live up to the great ideal. It just means that sometimes there's nubs and flubs along the way. But they were choreographing and creating, they were cultivating a foundation for a springboard from which to live. And then it's a work in progress where you start to go along and you make sure that as much as you try to honor what is written or that declaration, and there's a declaration of your soul, sometimes we miss the mark. And we don't beat ourselves up, and we don't make ourselves bad. We just make sure that we return to the inner beingness of our true nature, of our soulful nature, and we continue to resolve and grow. There are two factions of growth that you can participate in on this journey. You can allow yourself to learn by experience. Oh, that didn't work out. I'm going to try this. The problem with experience, though, when you allow yourself to live the experiential life in the human form, is that you open yourself up to trauma as a guiding force in your life. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this, but years ago, I was working with a woman, and she was going out with a gentleman, and we were working on some of the stuff because she was determined after many and many, she had a couple of divorces, she had a little trail of relationships that she kind of left in her wake. And the current issue is she had met somebody that was wonderful, but he had a wandering eye. And it really bothered her because she thought that it meant that she didn't matter, that he didn't care about her, or that he was going to cheat. Now the truth of the matter is, as we discovered, is he did not actually have a wandering eye. He actually was just a very charming person who liked to interact with a lot of people, and he didn't care what gender they were. But because she had trauma from a divorce of somebody who did have a wandering eye and did go out and cheat, and it left a mark in her energy field, which begat suspicion. And then all of a sudden, she's starting to see through a filter, and she's seeing like, oh, you looked over at someone, that means you're getting ready to cheat on me, which was not the case. And as it turns out, as we were working on it, we started to become aware, when we declare something, the power of your word. You have to be careful and observant of what you speak. You'll be able to tell a lot about what you say and articulate into the world. Every word you articulate, whether it's in your mind or whether it's from your vocal cords, creates. It is creating something. It is either recreating more of what it was, or it is going to create something and birth something anew. So she kept saying prior to this moment that she felt betrayed and abandoned. She goes, sometimes I just feel so lonely. Now, it's okay to identify a feeling, but you must take that feeling after you've identified it and make a choice. The choice must come after the identification. Otherwise, the previous choice stays in effect. We are the writers, directors, producers, and stars of our lives, and we must choose to understand how it works when we speak our word. Now, you know, in our community, when we speak our word, we mean when somebody comes up and does the evocation like Lynn did before the service, as the service was beginning, we're speaking a word and we're bringing in eternal energy and we're speaking it from there and we're letting it go out before us to make the crooked path straight. So if I am speaking my word, saying things like, my ADD, or I'm so lonely, or I'm so frustrated, then we are starting to perpetuate that. Now if I say, oh, because we can't go into denial, we're not going to have Cleopatra syndrome, queen of denial, we're going to say that we are going to be aware of what it is we speak. I caught myself owning something or speaking something that is not congruent with what I'd like to experience. And then you make a choice. You make a choice. Now it just so happens that I ran into her, we were working on some stuff, and I ran into her sitting with her boyfriend at a restaurant, and we were sitting there, and I happened to capture an experience that she was having. She was having something, there was some people walking by, he knew somebody, there was a couple, and there was a woman, and the guy, he said, hi, blah, 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 and I got to witness the exchange of his charm and his friendliness with some other people. And all of a sudden, she was getting like a little like, here he goes again. I got to witness the whole thing. And as I was witnessing it, I got to notice that what she was experiencing was not what was actually happening. And so it was just the most brilliant thing, because then the next time we got together, I was like, aha, I caught it. I got to see. Now that is something you can catch on your own when you go into witness mode. When you go into the observer, and you observe and you witness how you feel about something, and then you make the choice. Now, in the divine, in the human experience, it doesn't matter whether it's real or imagined. If I'm imagining that's happening, or if it's actually happening, there's no difference, because within you, you have the power to shift the course of that energy. If he did have a wandering eye, I'm still going to assess and address it with the same intention and the same choice. If it's not happening, and I'm realizing, oh, this is a reaction coming from a past experience that I'm projecting onto this situation, I'm still going to make the same choice. There's still going to be a healing that is going to take place. We want to make sure that we understand the power of our word, the power of our declaration, what you're going to declare. We often say in our community that we proclaim and declare, and we fill in the blank with words of truth, with affirmative, powerful words that absolutely amplify and are congruent with that which we are seeking. So if somebody is not, if you feel into it, so she felt into it, it's like, I don't matter. I'm not important enough. I'm not good enough. And we started to get in, here's the root, is the self-esteem, which then took us back to judgments as a little girl, where there was a lot of emphasis on looking pretty and acting right and being the perfect woman, the perfect girl in a particular way, and it didn't really live or jive with her beingness. So then there was a little bit more. The prayer within the prayer takes us back, and it's like, how do you accept you and know that wherever you are, your good is your good, and nothing is against me, and everything is for me, and I'm choosing to know what it feels like, and looks like, and smells like, and tastes like, to know that I'm important and that I matter. That's ultimately what ended up coming down for her. She wanted to know how important she was, and that she mattered, because if somebody is wandering off over here and paying attention to somebody else and not me, then that means that I've got in her case, that she didn't feel important enough. And so to her childhood, she didn't feel important enough to her parents. And so she wanted, it all mattered on how she looked and how she behaved, and it didn't matter who she truly was. So we had to go deep down and say, okay, let's dive in, let's cleanse this energy, and then let's make it something that we're going to be mindful of what we say and catch what we're speaking out into the world. You know, it's very interesting. You can actually today get a very tangible, real life experience of the power of your word. We're all aware today that we go, hey Siri, la la la. Voice activation commands have been around for a long time now. And isn't it wild that you can speak out and something picks up your language and then responds to it? That's what's happening, once in a while. Like, I've had the experience where I said, call Aunt Susan. And then it said, I'm calling Aunt Susan. And I was like, oh, no, that's not what I said. I said, call Aunt Susan. And, calling Aunt Susan. Aunt Susan. And it's like, no! I get a little frustrated when I don't know if any of you have ever had that experience. But the point of the story is that in the human realm, technology might not quite be up to where we are spiritually. Spiritually, when you speak your word, there's no misunderstanding by the universe. The universe is not going to call Aunt Susan when you're trying to get Aunt Suzanne. You're going to get exactly what you're after by the way you speak your word into the world. You speak your word and with conviction. And so if we don't have conviction, then we're going to have another prayer request or intention that I'm going to choose to speak my word with conviction, with sincerity. Sometimes we don't feel like we have it within us to speak that word. Sometimes some of us, unbeknownst to ourselves, I don't even know that we have something within us that still belongs to this old paradigm idea that God is out there, that there's some man with a beard in the clouds that may or may not grant your desire, fulfill the thing that makes your heart sing. There's some entity that may or may not go ahead and bring forward that which you choose. That does not exist. You get exactly what you call forward, even if you call forward something that you would rather not experience. We want to make sure that we understand the power of our word, that we start to take responsibility and to speak our word with purity, with integrity, with power. We want to remember what Ernest Holmes said, that the word has power only as it is one with power. So when I align my word with the one power, the power of the soul, the power of the infinite, the power of your true essence, and you speak it from there, what am I really after? What is the real thing that will satiate my soul? And as you spend a little time allowing yourself to move into that field and understand the difference between your gut and your heart. Oftentimes people, oh yeah, my gut told me don't do that. Something awful is going to happen. My gut told me I better go over here. The universe does not speak in a language that warns. It does not speak in a language that says, oh, watch out for this. That would imply duality. That would mean that there's something against something. And as it's said in the reading, as we move into oneness, the one cannot be separate. There cannot be two infinite eternal beings. There is one infinite presence that we call God. And also within the reading, they were talking about changing within the oneness. So at the temporal level, you're going to change within the changeless. God is changeless. The universe does not evolve. I'm talking capital U universe, not the lowercase universe of planets and stars. That, of course, we know is expanding on a regular basis, which is reflective of infinite benevolent potentials and possibilities. So as we look out with the Webb telescope and we see all the brilliance of an ever-expanding universe, and as amazing as that is, God is changeless. And to change within the changeless means you come back to who you are. Divine right perception is what you are after in all situations, in all circumstances. Divine right perception about me. Divine right perception about the young lady with the new boyfriend that she was dating. You don't want to have a misperception, and you certainly do not need to be proven right about something you don't want. You want to make sure that you move into divine right knowing, divine right receiving, and divine right proclaiming, so that we speak our word. Now, oftentimes we have to speak our word, which it's seemingly there's something else going on in the world. I'm having a pattern. Now, we all know energy in motion stays in motion until another energy of equal or greater comes along. We all learned that in 7th grade or thereabouts. Energy in motion stays in motion is a temporal experience. That belongs to the law of physics. We use metaphysics, which is above physics, above the temporal world, to transform temporal energy, changing within the changeless, moving back into the oneness, and making sure that our inner declaration is a reflection of that eternal frequency. That sometimes is easier said than done. Ironically, speaking your word is sometimes easier said than done. We want to make it easier said and done. We want to make sure that we go from, to use a gardening metaphor. Oftentimes when you cultivate a garden, I don't know, I love gardening. I love planting my tomatoes and my herbs and all that stuff. But you know, when you go out into the garden, sometimes you're weeding and sometimes you're seeding. I'm planting the seeds, and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, there's some weeds, and this particular brand of plant is going to suffocate my seedlings, so I'm going to get rid of that. We want to do probably the same practice in our daily life. Sometimes we're going to be weeding, we're going to be transforming and transmuting erroneous ideas, and then we're seeding. And we're going to then, when we seed something, we're going to move into giving it nutrition. We're going to fertilize it. We're going to grow the divine idea by coming back to it. In our visioning practice, we have our Soul Center monthly visioning, and we vision for all the different groups. What is visioning? Visioning is tapping into the divine idea about anything. In this case, it's the divine idea of Soul Center International. We vision on the divine idea of our location. we're moving into where eventually we won't be here anymore. We're going to be at a new physical location, which is then going to take us up to our final location, which is going to be our campus with our labyrinth and our meditation room and our gardens and our fountains. But in between, the vision is showing us you are going to evolve and grow in accordance to what you are available to accept at the given time and that you are calling it forward. Always you're going to be asked to grow. Always you're going to be called into a conscious evolution of your human experience. You have free will and free choice, so you can ignore that if you choose to, but eventually you're going to have to make a decision that is going to evolve you. So free will and free choice is kind of a ruse. The ruse is because you think you have free will and free choice, like when a little kid is like with their parents and I'm never going to eat again, or I'm going to hold my breath until I turn blue, and it's like neither one of those is going to happen, so they're just fooling themselves, and we do that all the time. I know somebody who was like so hurt in a relationship that he decided he was never going to get back into a relationship because of the pain and the strife from previous relationships. Now that's going to break down at some point. You're going to be called into, because every single one of us has to move into divine right relations. You cannot be in this world separate and apart from anything and everyone else. You must allow yourself and avail yourself to be in the harmonious flow of mutual reverence, kindness, love, and respect. Do you have to do it all at once? No. But your soul is going to take you on a journey that's going to allow you to evolve, and it's going to meet you right where you're at. That's what our community does. We meet people where they're at. And that is a powerful thing to do. It's a compassionate thing to do. It's capital C compassion, because that's the type of compassion we practice here at Soul Center at Agape in the New Thought Ageless Wisdom teachings. Capital C compassion means I will be there for you. I understand what's going on, but I will not kowtow or degrade myself by believing in something lesser for you. I will hold the best for you. I will hold the eternal empowerment energies. That's what our chaplains, that's what our practitioners and ministers of truth do. We hold the best for each individual. I might not know what that best is, but I know there is a best, and that it is better than a temporal experience. We want to make sure, as I was talking about, that you can differentiate between your gut and the higher heart. The higher heart is not the lower heart. The higher heart only speaks the word of truth in affirmative, loving, empowering ways that are positive. The divine, the voice of providence, the still small voice doesn't say, beware of that over there, and make your way over here, stay away from the nasties, stay away from the energy vampires, stay away from the person who's going to hurt you. God would never say that, because that implies duality. What the universe will do is this way to greater good, this way to what your heart sings, this way to what your soul is seeking to radiate and know, this way to being loved and adored and appreciated and knowing that you matter. It takes a little bit of moxie to be able to take your gaze off of the temporal world and bring it over to the eternal. Sometimes you get spiritual whiplash where it's like, oh, I'm so tempted to listen to the news. I'm so tempted to listen to the gossip and believe something that's going on. I'm so tempted to have an erroneous perception about so-and-so. Oh, I gotta bring myself back over here. No, I'm gonna know the best. I'm gonna seek the best. I'm going to find the best. You have the power. Each one of us has everything we need to make sure that we thrive in this goodness. We want to make sure that we are mindful of what we say when we're having a reaction. Everybody probably knows the difference between a response and a reaction. A reaction is anything of the temporal world. Anger, frustration, irritation, shame, guilt, powerlessness, hopelessness, confusion. Those are all part of the temporal world, and those, when you speak your word and it passes through the filter, and that filter changes what you say. I'm so lonely. Oh, nothing ever works for me. Oh, I never get chances. Even if you are part of a group that can proclaim, yes, we're all victims of this, whatever that group is. Now, I'm not suggesting that we ignore things of the temporal world. We don't ignore things. Again, we're not Cleopatra, queen of denial. We are allowing ourselves to remember, although she was wonderful in history, I'm talking about just a little fun thing. We are talking about taking dominion over our lives, where we're like, oh, I just said something that came through my trauma body, and I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to transform it by speaking my word. I do matter. I allow myself to know. So we're going to do some declarations. I'm going to invite you, I know we did our affirmations just a little while ago, but I'm going to invite you to repeat after me some declarations as we move into Independence Day and Interdependence Day, as coined for today. So when it comes to providential awareness is your best friend. Now, some people mix up capital T truth with lowercase t truth. Some people believe in the, oh, my truth is that you're awful. Some people believe that my truth is that you're deficient. My truth is that you're a cheater. My truth is that people steal. No, the capital T truth, nothing is against me, everything is for me all the time, and I am not going to stop until I have a demonstration at 360 degrees, 1000%. You're going to clean up your entire energy field, which includes not only your primary, secondary, tertiary fields of energy, but all the way out into the fourth, fifth, until you get to the sixth field of energy. Unity with the divine. Thy will be done. We're moving from willpower to divine will. Willpower takes the energy and the guidance from my gut. My gut tells me they're awful. No, we're not listening to the gut. The gut is rooted in temple. Now, we're also not foolish. If I'm still in a place where I think things are against me, and I take a temperature of my own beingness, and it's like, yeah, I still think that things are against me. Okay, my gut's telling me don't go there. We're not going to disregard it. We're just going to put it into its proper place. Its proper place is, yeah, I'm not going to go that way because something's not good is going to happen. I'm going to go this way. Oh, sure enough, look, it happened. But under that scenario, if I do nothing else, then I leave victimization intact. So what I do is, oh, my gut's telling me not to go that way. I'm going to go this way. All will be well. And now I move into transformation, transmutation, and alchemy, and I speak my word about this situation. I am choosing, no matter where I go, no matter who I'm with, no matter what the situation, everything is unfurling and unfolding for my highest good. And you'll keep doing a little check. You'll observe, you'll witness. Oh, am I there yet? No, not there yet. Oh, am I there yet? No. It's kind of like the kids, driving on vacation. Are we there yet? No, not there yet. Not there yet. No, not there yet. We're going to keep checking in. And if you're doing it in an efficient way, you're going to notice improvement. You're going to notice that, let's just say, well, for example, in this particular woman's experience, she was about at 60% believing in betrayal in relationships, and 40% in believing in harmony and kindness and, love. So she was experiencing it exactly to that ratio. And then all of a sudden we start speaking our word, and now we're at 50%. I'm starting to see a return on my investment. My investment in prayer, my investment in speaking my word. Oh, now the scales have switched. Now I'm 60% seeing kindness and that I matter and feeling more appreciated, and 40% not. And we're going to 100%. Where some people drop the ball, spiritual people included, drop the ball, is when you're at 30%, or let's switch around, 70% success and goodness, you might think that's good enough. Oh, something not so great happened over here. Oh, well, I'm at 70, 80%, who cares? No, the universe operates at 100%. So we're moving towards 100%. You want to have lofty experiences, lofty results, set lofty goals. Make sure that your intention matches the desire of your soul, and that you are not settling for anything. So with regards to listening to providence, transcending the lower heart, transcending your gut, and moving into providence, it is so much nicer when you listen to the higher heart and you hear the voice of your soul, you hear the still small voice and it says, this way, this is where we're going. When you hear that, there's no stress hormones that get released into your biochemistry. When you listen to the gut, don't go, stress hormones are being released. Now, there's two ways that you can move through life. You can learn from experience, or you can grow through providence. You can allow yourself to be guided. I don't need to have an experience of betrayal. I'm going to proclaim, before I've had any betrayal whatsoever, I'm going to proclaim that all of my relationships are filled with kindness, reverence, joy, love, respect. They're genuine. They're in integrity. Then you're going to define integrity. You're going to get into the nitty-gritty. You are going to be the writer, the scriptor of the fine print. Sometimes we hear the old expression, God is in the details. You know why we have those big, long legal contracts that go on and on and on? Some little simple thing like I'm going to hire someone to do this and we're going to sign a contract that's 20 pages long. And you think, gosh, what is all this about? And then nobody reads the fine print and they just sign off on it anyway. We're going to make sure that we write the fine print. And the fine print are the detail energies of what it is you're really looking for. To go, I choose to be prosperous. I'm just prosperous. I'm choosing radiant vitality. That's what I'm choosing. You're going to go, what is radiant vitality to you? What is prosperity to you? You already have a definition. You're going to make sure either that definition is on point or you're going to redefine it. It's as simple as going in and hitting delete and rewriting, or edit and rewrite. You're going to rewrite that and make sure you understand. You are only at the effect of what you bring forward. You are the cause of your effect. But when you go to first cause is the divine. First cause is the absolute. When you let go of cause and effect from the temporal world and you move into first cause and effect, then you're going to experience serendipity and synergy. But it takes a little bit of slowing down in order for that to happen. So, the first declaration, with regards to listening to the still small voice, I'm going to chunk it out. I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. I am joyously aligned with and listen to.
I am joyously aligned with and listen to
The voice of God, the voice of my soul.
the voice of
God and the voice of my soul.
All right, now I want to give that a moment to have meaning. What does that mean? I want to give it a moment. Now, I have an intention of what that means, that you're listening to the higher heart, you're listening to providence, you're listening to divine illumination. That doesn't mean, I'm listening to my gut. That doesn't mean we're getting rid of listening or regarding the gut. It just means on my way from guttural experiences into heartful experiences, I'm going to honor the journey, and I'm not going to lose sight of my North Star. I'm not going to lose sight of the divine prize. All right, with regards to divine right perception, we're going to proclaim and declare, I am attuned to and always obey.
I am attuned to and always obey
Divine right perception.
divine right perception.
Divine right perception means I'm aware of the filter that creates the reaction, and I'm going to make a choice either in spite of or despite that. I don't know if any of you have ever had this experience, like, oh God, I gotta go see so-and-so, but I really don't want to. I'm just gonna be kind of selfish and tell them I have an excuse as to why I can't do it, even though your heart is saying that you ought to be there and something wonderful is going to happen. Or maybe something, there's the spiritual class or something that I should be doing, but I just don't really feel like it. Why don't I feel like growing? Why don't I feel like stepping into more magnificence in my life? That is just resistance in the subconscious. Sometimes that resistance is tied to, I don't believe it can actually happen. I don't believe that the divine or transmutation actually works. That might be what's in the subconscious. The only way to find out if they're in the subconscious is to turn within. I remember when I discovered some of the things in my subconscious where I was, there was times when I had the dark night of the soul, which I've had no less than 6 of them, where I was contemplating in deep depression. Depression is definitely that's a sign, whether it's mild or severe or acute, that's a sign that you're listening to the voice of the trauma body. Oh, my gut's telling me that everything's against me and nothing's for me. That's the voice we're not listening to. That's in Scripture. Get ye behind me, Satan. I will not listen to that voice. I am listening to the voice of providence. So divine right perception is what we're saying yes to. Now the next one is I am grateful to receive God's abundance as good prosperity and support. I'm sorry, I'm going to read I am grateful to receive God's abundance as good prosperity and support.
I am grateful to receive God's abundance as good prosperity and support.
I think I left out a word. Good prosperity and support. All right. So, in that declaration, I want to make sure everybody is like, yes, I'm choosing to own this. I want to know what that's like to be grateful. We all know gratitude is a gateway drug to brilliance, to bliss, to beauty. When you're in awe, when you're in gratitude, you're opening up all the neural pathways to the divine. Gratitude is a way that you say, and I'm going to invite a little intention here, that when you decide to practice gratitude, that you allow it to be sincere and meaningful. Some people go, oh, I'm grateful. Some people do it like, the whole, somebody sneezes, I say bless you, but there's no real meaning of the word I bless you in there. It's just habit. It doesn't have any, We're going to say yes to allowing ourselves to be in deep gratitude. We're going to move on to our next declaration. I act in accordance with wellness in, through, and as my word and deed. I act in accordance with wellness in, through, and as my word and deed. Does that make sense? Yes. I am acting in accordance with wellness. Wellness is God's guarantee. There is no illness in the divine. So as you act in accordance with wellness, you're going to allow that through your thought, word, and deed. You're going to allow every thought, word, and deed to be in alignment with wellness. That's what we're going to proclaim and declare. We're setting the tone. We're seeding right now. And as you seed and we fertilize, we're going to go ahead and then maybe, if we're lucky, we can just have all our crops rise up with no weeding necessary. But there might be some weeding that's going to come up. Usually, I get so inspired, I have this great idea, and you go out into the world, and then all of a sudden, there's a smack up against a belief, and this stuff doesn't work. No, it works. It works exactly and precisely in calibration to what you believe. So we are changing our belief so that we can change the experience. We've heard, whether it's Wayne Dyer or the multitudes of other spiritual teachers that have come before, change your thinking, change your life, change your energy, change your life, change your beliefs, change your life. All of that means you're going to change, like from the reading, you're going to change in the changeless back to the truth. And our final declaration, I curate kindness, reverence, and respect in all of my relationships.
I curate kindness, reverence, and respect in all of my relationships.
To curate, as we've been talking about last month, means you're cultivating, you're nurturing. So that means in God everything's 100%. So 100% means all my relationships. The acquaintances, the family members, the friends, the people I don't want to talk to, those are all your relationships. That doesn't mean you have to go out and do anything with them. It means you have to hold a space where you're going to invite goodness, reverence, kindness, and respect from everything and everyone, and you're not leaving anybody out. You're not leaving the person who's been irreverent, disrespectful, unkind. You're not leaving them out. You don't have to participate in the temporal level with them, but on the spiritual level, you invite them in to be in integrity. This is benevolent vulnerability. This is practicing the presence. When you practice the presence, you say, so if I'm going to go to the bottom of the barrel and go worst offenders, you're the worst offender over here. I am going to leave you where you are, and I'm going to invite you energetically, prayerfully, and spiritually to be in my life only in kind, reverent, and respectful ways 100% of the time. you cultivate that energy, their soul wants to respond to that. I can't tell you, I've got probably at least a dozen or so clients that I've worked with over the years, some that it was very challenging, they were betrayed, it was real backstabbing experiences, and they were like, I cannot have that person in my life. You don't understand what they did to me. Oh, I understand, and I'm there, and I get it. And that temporal experience is what we're going to relinquish. And we're going to bring a new energy in. You don't ever have to see them again if you don't want to. But if you do it, if you do this and you work it right, all of a sudden, as has happened to me many times, I invite them in. And again, the rule, your word is you speak your word. So it would be like, if you speak your word, you can only be in my life through kindness, love, and reverence and respect. If they start to come towards you without that, they're going to go boom. They're just going to hit up against something and they're not going to get in. When they're like, God, it's time for my spiritual awakening. Maybe it's that person who went through the 12-step program and now they're reconciling and they're going through that step. I can't remember what it's called, but
8, 9.
What's the name of it?
8, steps 8, 9.
Right, but it's
Amends.
You came along to make amends.
Amends. You're going to make amends. All of a sudden, they're like, I'm going to make amends. And then all of a sudden, the force field opens, and it's like, and it's sincere. Because we're not settling for anything less than sincerity. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be like, what's happening? I can't believe this is happening. And they're sincere, and it's amazing. And you're going to be you might be a little like, shy, I don't know if I can trust you. But, wait, I'm going to not trust my dad. I'm going to my higher. I can. This is the real deal, okay? That's what we're doing. That's kind of what it looks like. It looks like when you listen to your higher heart, when you speak your word, when you invite, evoke, and allow something into, that's you taking responsibility, and that's you participating in the conscious evolution of your human experience. So we're all going to participate in this, yes?
Yes.
We're going to make sure that we understand the passage of Scripture that says when you meditate on God's word, you will have prosperity and success. When you meditate, so it's not just an intellectual understanding. You have a deep willingness and availability to allow transformation to take place within your own microcosmic world, and you allow it to happen. So we're all agreeing to that. We're all going to say yes to the greatest and grandest vision and version of our lives. And with that being said, we're going to move into the prayer field right here, right now. I'm going to invite you to just join me. As each and every one of us says yes to benevolent vulnerability, as each and every one of us says yes to our declaration of interdependence, all those declarations that have been spoken, we choose to know what that feels like, looks like in its purest, highest expression. These are the intentions. This is what I call forward. How grateful I am to know that it is God's only pleasure and good pleasure to bring forward the kingdom of heaven, of paradise, of brilliance, of beauty, of joy, to, through, and as my life. We open to the great knowing, the great remembering that where I am, the omniamorous presence, power, and wisdom of God is. I have never once been separate from this holy presence. I am always and eternally one with it. I have chosen today that I allow the higher heart, the divine vision of providence, of holy truth to guide, direct, uplift, and connect me more than ever before as I remember what it means that I am born from the holy heart, the holy mind of God Almighty. Therefore, I, Almighty, say yes to more good, sacred, holy relationships, radiant wellness, clarity, optimism, faith, joy. I know that nothing is against me and everything is for me, and I am allowing my human evolution to be inspired. I am only motivated by enthusiasm, only motivated by providence, only motivated by divine illumination, the absolute truth. I choose to seek it and find it, know it and experience it in this life, in this body, in all dimensions of all incarnations. I call it forward today and know that it is done. I speak my word. I declare the truth, and I allow that harmonious brilliance to be now and unto forevermore. We allow glory to greater glory, and we simply ground it, embrace it, and we gloriously and benevolently allow it to be by saying, and so I let it be.
So I let it be.
And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
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 Amin.
Amen.
Ashe. Aho.
Aho.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Hotep.
Hotep.
And hallelujah. That's how we rock and soul, and we're going to take this energy and we are going to live to the highest accord of your personal experience of divinity in the world. You are going to personify the divine. All right? I'm going to have the ushers come forward as we're moving into our conscious time of tithing/giving, which is participating in the law of circulation and true prosperity as our ushering angels are here. Just a couple reminders for those of you streaming in live. If you go to soulcenteroc.com and you go to the bottom right-hand corner, there's a give button. You can donate there. All of this is tax deductible as we are a 501c3 religious organization. You can also text the word GIVE to area code 669-342-2157. You can text the word GIVE to area code 669-342-2157. The reason I'm repeating myself is we are without our graphics for the viewers online, so I'm giving them a chance to hear that if they would like to hear that. And for those of you, I'm going to have the ushers go for it. If you have a blue butterfly, that means you're an auto-tither when you place those in the basket. Otherwise, if you would like to put cash or checks payable to Soul Center OC, that would be wonderful. As our ushers go forward, we also have the ability to Venmo at Soul Center OC if you'd like to Venmo. And it is, like I said, tax deductible. With that, take it away.
So I decided that I wanted to perform this song for all of you today because this song is centered on the way that belief feels so good. To have unwavering faith, to really believe in yourself, to believe in love, to believe in life, to believe in good is a good feeling. And if you stick to that, if you hold on to that feeling for long enough, it just creates this resplendent universe for you that you didn't even realize could open up for you. So enjoy, and if you want to sing along with me. Let's do it, man. Ready, Jesse? Ready, Brian? Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the
Usher. Thank you, Tia. That was glorious. That was like, we were at a concert. Yeah. All right. Ushers are going to come forward. And just a reminder, if you'd like prayer after service, our prayer chaplain Susan's on deck if you want to get a personal, private, confidential prayer out on the patio. And also don't forget that there are little address cards if you're going to Lynn's barbecue. Everyone was invited, and you can get that information outside at the reading table. Now I'm going to put you to work. We're going to extend our heart, our prayers through our hands. We take a moment and we remember the truth that there is one opulent, abundant, brilliant, infinite supply and source of all good, that is life, that is God, that is good, that is you, that is me, that is we. Life is inherently good, life is inherently opulent, life, capital L, life is brilliant. Something wonderful is ignited here. We say yes to allowing that divine spark to illuminate that we always listen to the higher heart, that we always listen to providence, that we always allow that contagion of goodness to have its way physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. This is what we say yes to today. As we declare inner dependence, we say yes that we are only dependent on the eternal, only dependent on the truth, only dependent on good. We allow that to flourish and nourish as it goes behind us to return the years the locusts have eaten, go forward and make the crooked path straight. And right here and right now, we allow it to continue to bring forward beauty, peace, wellness, and goodness in our everyday lives. We allow it to be now, we allow it to be so, and we simply agree in deep gratitude and deep thanksgiving by saying, and so it is.
Yes, it is.
Amen. Thank you, ushers. And no kids today. For the holidays, they're all out with shenanigans. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to rise for our closing peace song. The words are in your program if you would like to stretch your vocal cords.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song aloud. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Oh, we take a moment as we allow the eternal frequencies, the energies of peace and love and beauty to invigorate and enthusiate, coursing through the channels, the meridians of our bones and cells, emotions and mind. We allow ourselves to go deeper and higher, that the eternal is grateful to know that we have said yes to more good, more beauty, more love than ever before. It is from a place of holy perception, of being absolutely divinely indignant, that my good is my good and I shall allow it to be right here, right now, optimistically, faithfully, gloriously. We allow it to be good, we allow it to be so, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen. Just a reminder, next week after service, we are having the State of the Center. There's going to be food and merriment as well as a lot of information about our community, our history, our vision, everything you want to know about Soul Center next Sunday, directly after service, and Lynn will be catering, so it's going to be delicious. And for those of you streaming in, we should have a Zoom room set up for you to be part of the State of the Center as well. So check out for the Zoom link on our website or in the newsletter, and that should be coming out towards the end of the week of how you can be in participation in our State of the Center.
All right.
All right, so